17 minutes before our reservation time, I called my dad and I asked him for a pep talk. And my roommate that was standing next to me on the sidewalk, she requested that I put it on speakerphone. And because I had commissioned something motivational and inspiring, which we could all benefit from, because we were trying to get amped to rent a U-Haul cargo van and drive it to Thornhill and put a washing machine inside of it, and then like drive the layers of machines just back to where we came from, so we could reckon with the weight of it all. And I was very nervous, so I called my dad and I asked him if he thought I could do it, and he's like, yeah. My dad, he builds decks, not as a career, just as proof. He does U-turns wherever he wants. He leaves little piles of chewed up Copenhagen around the house. He pretty much exclusively drinks tall cans of Dab, because I think that in the 80s he just decided, like, that's what I like. He's worked in an office for like over 40 years, but when I see him, he's always got a sweaty bandana around his head. Some kind of oil spilled on him. He smells like Old Spice and paint thinner, and I'm pretty sure he can start a fire despite rubbing his heavily calloused hands together. So he's who I call. He's who I called when my friend put gas in a diesel. It's bad. It's who I call when I need a suggestion on how, like, the best way to tie a mattress to the hood of a car. And he's who I called now because I needed some reassurance that I wasn't that I could successfully make this delivery without murdering a child, running over a child. Very concerned about children. Like, I have mixed feelings about children, but I have unmixed feelings about running them over with rental property. So I called him, and like the kid thing, it's kind of enough to make me want to, like, not ever wash my clothes again. Like, I just don't care that much. But this washing machine, that it was a really good deal on Craigslist, except that it was pickup only. But there was a van, a cargo van that was available at the U-Haul that was conveniently close to me. So I felt like everything was aligning, and the universe was telling me it's time for you to just man up, but in like a gender-neutral feminist way. My dad said, "You're not gonna murder a human child. Like, you'll be fine because you know how to drive." Which is true. I learned how to drive over a decade ago in his '97 Nissan Maxima with the "We Support Our Troops" stickers on the side. And my dad in the passenger seat, just very calm, with his open can of Dab, just discreetly. So, despite my personal feelings on the issue, I am actually a licensed driver. And that in combination with my credit information and, like, being over 25, like, that's enough for you all to just give you the machine. And they didn't care that I'm a dysfunctional human being, and they didn't want to hear my list of reasons why they shouldn't give me the machine. There were just, all of a sudden, there were just keys in my hands. And a teenage employee was just like pushing me in the car. He's like, it's gonna be good. And then I had to remind him, I was like, well, what about that pep talk you promised me? Because I asked him for one too. And he said, did you buy the $15 insurance? And I said, yes, of course. He said, then you can do whatever you want. And he closed the door. And Brittany and I just sat in the van feeling the bigness of it. And then she was kind enough to tell me that, you know, some of her dumbest, most inept friends are actually the best drivers. And have this been a few years ago, like without even question, without me asking, my father would have just driven 5 hours from Ottawa, picked up the machine, and brought it to me. Because driving long distances with like heavy appliances, it's just it's like pretty fundamental to his character. But he's 70 now, and he actually, as of this year, he started walking with a cane, and he's waiting for a double hip replacement. So it's clearly time for me to become the independent, strong woman that he's always encouraged me to be, and to go out there and to find a younger, healthier man who can drive this car for me. I just didn't want to do it. Technology, like as much as it, in its various forms, kind of it levels the playing field between people and between the sexes, but it just as effectively exaggerates our differences. Because the dominant narrative always has the man in the driver's seat, and as much as I have infinite faith in my gender to steer and to check its blind spot, I don't have that faith in myself. So I apologize, womankind, for dragging down our stats by continuing to enlist my male friends, particularly the ones that are slightly shorter and have something to prove. to carry things and to drive things. But this time, between Brittany and I, no one that we knew had the time or the motivation or the driver's license to actually do this, and so we were left with me. I was my own last resort, so I did it, guys. Woo! Woo! I drove a cargo van to Thornhill, and when I got there, the woman who was selling us the machine, she was really surprised. She's like, "You can just rent these things?" And we were like, yes, we can, because we're women. And we can do anything. And then we loaded it, the three of us, we just got it into the washing machine, into the other machine. And then Brittany and I, like, very proudly drove home, just ignoring all the red lights and stop signs that the patriarchy had put in our way. Which is awesome, right? But there's more. Because they're heavy. They're heavy. Washing machines are heavy, and this was a jumbo one. And we lived in Little Portugal on Dundas, above one of those above a health food store and one of those Portuguese bars where there's always like at least 4 guys outside. talking about one of two things. It's either always it's respect or disrespect. And I had a plan, and this was my plan. To park the van outside the bar and to get the washing machine onto the street and to struggle conspicuously in front of the men. And then just Darwinism, sexual selection, and spin cycle, clean pants. That was gonna be it. And I get it, like this isn't a story about how I once did a thing that made the world a better place. Like, I don't have any of those stories. And we did it. We went and we parked the van in front of the bar, and we got the machine out of the other machine, and we struggled conspicuously, and then we kept struggling conspicuously. They just didn't do anything. They were there, but they were like, "You're women, you can do it." We were like, "Come be patronizing. This is the time." But you know what to do. We were just like, I guess we're just gonna be dirty now. Like that was the only other option. But then a man came out of the health food store and he had a baby in a stroller, and he had like a large eco-friendly washing detergent. And he's like, "It looks like you ladies could use some help." And we were like, "Yeah, like we thought we could do it ourselves." Like we didn't think that. He's like, "It's okay. I do this kind of thing all the time because there's a lot of single women in this city with a lot of heavy stuff." And we were like, "Say whatever you want." So he picked it up, he picked it up in the washing machine, and I went to help him. And he was like, "No, you stay down here and watch the baby." Which I kept forgetting to do because she was very quiet. I get distracted easily. And he was upstairs just carrying our heavy appliances, and I forgot that his baby existed. It's fine. She's fine. But that is also when I realized that I don't represent all the failings of my sex, because I represent all the failings of my generation. Gender roles are becoming increasingly obsolete because as time progresses, people of both genders are becoming equally incompetent. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or anything. If you're born after 1970, like you're probably a useless bag of shit like me. And I think half of my friends don't even have their license. And do any of you honestly know anyone who can build a deck? No. After our dads are gone, there will be no decks. In the future, there will be no decks, and there will just be inside and outside and nothing in between. That's it.